Defense made a motion for a mistrial. Prosecutor was up to some fuckery. Potentially damaging evidence, no basis for it. The judge specifically said, do not ask that question. Do not use that as evidence. She walked right down the path and asked the question. It may be over on Tuesday morning. Batman Bruce Wayne bitch snitch. Gerald Brooks, your constitution does not apply to me because I'm a sovereign citizen, a traveler on the land, I'm a Mauryan Empire or whatever, bitch snitch. Because they're so fucking absurd. If you want to be a sovereign citizen, just do yourself a favor first. Go to YouTube here and just get every sovereign citizen that's ever been before. Find me one that won. God dang, you're right. Don't go down this. It's not the path you don't have time for stupidity. Some clever dick on the internet didn't find the great loophole in all of the world's law. Bitch snitch. God dang, you're right. God dang, you're right. Traveler on the land. God dang, you're right. Moorish Empire. Traveler on the land. Bitch snitch. Moorish Empire. God dang, you're right. Traveler on the land. Bitch snitch. The late evening U.S. people.
What do you got?
I think I can prove to a judge that both of these men had the mens rea.
What the hell is a mens rea?
It's a legal term the lawyers use. It just means the intention to commit a crime.
Okay, come on, let's go.
Mens rea?
Put the cuffs on him.
How could we have gotten mens rea? We take blood? Can you do it without taking blood? We both use condoms. How is this possible? I want to see a doctor. Can I have an independent blood test?
Money!
I feel sick.
What are you doing?
Mens rea! Oh! Oh! My God! No!
Into the mud, scum queen!
That's where she belongs. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, everybody, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, etc., etc. We gotta pick up the pace here a little bit tonight. We don't have much time to intercourse around because StreamYard was being a little bit of a bitch and wouldn't let me in on either Edge or Chrome. Unexpectedly high traffic, and it took them a while to pull their heads out of their collective arses. But we are here and we are live with day 4, part 1 of the LEILANI Smith murder trial. And we've got our like and subscribe poll set up. We got 106 people here right now watching us, and it all includes each and every one of you. And however many people are watching this on the replay crew, howdy. Our like and subscribe poll today, which is just our little way of reminding you to hit the like and subscribe buttons. So please do that while we're going over this. Like, subscribe. If you are subscribed, double check to make sure you are, because YouTube is really going hard. They are ripping subscribers. We're down about 60 in the last 2.5 days, just because I get like 3,000 and then they take 60 away. I'm still okay with that, but it's probably one of you people. So just double check to make sure you're still subscribed. And take our like and subscribe poll after you have hit the like 20 of you, 25 of you have cheated now. So do it. Today's like and subscribe poll is what is Strawberry and Yoda doing while we're streaming? What are they doing in here? Well, your choices are: they're plotting world domination, they're using the Force to get Doggo Cam, they're astral projecting, or they're just judging you for your bad life decisions and choices. That's our like and subscribe poll today. Tell me what it is that Yoda and Strawberry does during these streams. And they are right here. They are sitting here just awaiting their time in in the limelight because today is day 57 of the emotional support potato pig dogs. We've hit the goal 57 days in a row, chat. We have an incredible streak going here, but is today the last day? Will it end on day 57? Alas, only you can make that decision. And you know how to go about it. We don't grift, we don't beg, we just throw it out there for you to do it as you see fit. The doggo cam is locked and loaded. They're both here. And if we hit the goal, we hit the goal, chat, for day number 58. And that's all we got. Oh, we also do, if we have the YouTube-y things here, but we also have the alternative methods of tipping and whatever that will be scrolling across the bottom, including Cash App, Venmo, and Zelle. We don't do the other one anymore. They're being obnoxious. Right. So I guess that's kind of it. We don't really have a whole bunch of other stuff to talk about. So in one of our quickest intros ever, I'm just happy you're here. I'm glad that you choose to come around for day 4. We're right about the halfway mark right now. So we're halfway there, living on a prayer. We should I hope to be done with this by the end of next week. If not, it'll be by the middle of the following week. And then we can get back to some regular old Legal Vices channel stuff with Maritime Mondays and retro trials and other stuff. But all right, for today, we've got day 4, and we're going to begin with the cross-examination of Brian, LEILANI Simon's boyfriend, ex-boyfriend, I hope. It's now time for him to be cross-examined. We were speculating yesterday about what sort of things he would be cross-examined on. I'm guessing drinking, being an alcoholic, having a bad memory, perhaps. I don't know if he has a criminal record, but if he does, harp on that a little bit. Just try to make him seem like a less than credible witness. Will it be done tactfully, or will it be done in a dickish way that we've come to expect from the defense lawyer in this case? Well, there's only one way to find out. And as always, super chats will be read if and when they come in. They'll be flashed up on the screen, and then during the breaks, natural, normal breaks or pauses in the trial, we'll read them then and address them. So you know what to do, people. Let's get going right into this. Let me put my camera where it belongs, and it belongs right here. There we go. Let's go. Oh, and by the way, good news for this. Not only do we have Court TV with the much better audio than Law and Crime, today we have closed captions, which I must now turn on because I had to reboot. Oh, it looks like I'm sitting at the defense table. I feel dirty. I feel so dirty sitting at the defense table. Take the plea. Take the plea. Take the plea. If they gave you one.
Your oath.
All right. Why does he look like he's auditioning for the Blue Man?
You do understand that you are under oath. You were sworn in yesterday, and you remain under oath at this time for cross-examination.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Mr. Hilliard.
I think this is what, for those of you that know who Valhalla Awaits is. I bet this is very, very close to what Valhalla would look like if he shaved his beard. He does he has like the same facial structure as Valhalla Awaits.
Since yesterday, have you spoken with anyone about the case or your testimony?
No.
Thank you, sir. I'm going to approach, if I could, the witness with State's Exhibit 9 and have him look at it real quick.
And while he's approaching, Matilda with the €2. Hello from the Netherlands.
Layout of the house
Thank you.
on Buckhalter Road.
And if you would, just explain to the jury where the front door is. Is that the room that y'all lived in and slept in?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And if you would, how to explain where the front door is. We've seen pictures. Give me 1 second. I might can give you a better picture.
And while he's doing that, I have just realized that I am quite literally a caricature of myself. I'm wearing the same hat. Well, no, this isn't the same hat. It was modeled on the other hat. Sorry. This I look just like my merch tonight. How funny is that? Anyway, sorry about that. I just looked down and said, "Oh God, this is what I look like." Hey, if I'm going to look like anybody, I should look like myself.
State's exhibit number 10 and picture 26 of state's exhibit number 10. Is that the front door of 535 Buckhalter?
Yes, sir.
And is this, as you enter the doorway, a picture of the sofa to the left?
Yes, sir.
And the picture to the right is kind of over in the corner. It's the race car. That's where Zane slept.
Karen Mitchell has just given a $2 super sticker. With for her, this would be Karen Mitchell's 20th super on a live stream. Thank you so much for the 20th super on a live stream.
Yes, sir.
And this is a TV.
Yes, sir.
And I assume there's a little chair in front of it, correct?
Yes, sir.
And that's the crib that Quentin slept in, correct?
Yes, sir.
It only exists in the court.
And that's the pictures of inside the crib, correct?
It just means that they're not going to swear him in again as a witness. We were sworn in yesterday. You're still under oath to tell the truth here in court.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to go all the way back here. And I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I'm trying to understand.
Okay.
The back.
All right. I am. We're 13 minutes into this, and I'm already this close to dropping a big ol' F-bomb on this guy. Okay, I wish this was a light enough case that we could have a bingo card, because very, very close to the free space would be him saying, "I'm not trying to put words in your mouth." Take a shot every time he says, "I don't want to put words in your mouth," or some variation thereof, and you'll be in an alcoholic coma in just about no time at all. It's so disinfrickin-genuous when he says that. Like, he's literally asked the guy, maybe like a handful of questions, and he's already doing his usual dickish stuff. "Well, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but let me try to put some words in your mouth." Oh God, I hate this guy. He's just doing his job, but he's doing it in a dickish way. And it's so disingenuous. How many do you think the jurors are doing the same thing I am, saying, "Oh, come on. You keep saying this. You say it about 8 times to every witness."
Part of the room. I can get to it. The back part of the room, as you walk in the door and look all the way to the back.
Okay, and also on the bingo card, we would have Legal Vices boomers it. I'm just trying to move the subtitles.
And she traveled up there. Y'all lived together for a minute.
Just a second.
Absolutely.
How old?
Under oath at this time for cross-examination.
To approach, if I could, if you would, and if you would, how to
Sorry,
explain
guys.
Where the front door is?
I was just trying to move
We've seen pictures. Give me 1 second. I might can give you a better picture.
Yes, sir.
and the picture to the right is kind of over in the corner. It's the race car. That's where Zane slept.
Yes, sir.
And this is a TV.
Yes, sir.
And I assume there's a little chair in front of it, correct?
Yes, sir.
And that's the crib that Quentin slept in, correct?
Yes, sir. The playpen.
And that's the pictures of inside the crib, correct?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to go all the way back here. And I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I'm trying to understand.
Yes, you
The
do.
back part of the room. I we get to it. The back part of the room, as you walk in the door and look all the way to the back, is where the bed was, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. And you have to walk past the bed in order to walk in and out the back door, the dining room. Let me rephrase that. Is this about where the bed's at in the back part of the house?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And this is where you have to walk through to get out through the dining room and living room, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, on the night of October 5th, were you sleeping in that bed?
Yes, sir.
And was Miss Simon sleeping in that bed with you?
At some point.
At some point. Okay.
At
So,
some point.
and again, not trying to put words in your mouth.
Oh, fuck off.
In order to walk in and out the back dining room or living room door, you have to walk right by that bed, correct?
Yes, sir. You have to walk by it.
And it's in the back part of the room away from the children, correct?
Yes.
Okay, that I don't want to put words in your mouth. That's his way of saying, what if anything? I mean, just ask, did you have to go through this door? I don't want to put words in your mouth, but did you go through that door around there? Just ask, did you go through the freaking door? And they need to turn off that overhead because every time he walks past there, he looks like he's a reject from the Blue Men.
Yes, sir. You have to walk by it.
And it's in the back part of the room away from the children, correct?
Yes, sir. Towards the window in the corner.
Okay. And you say that's where you were sleeping, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. So it wasn't upstairs. It wasn't a different bedroom. It wasn't anything like that.
No, sir.
Okay. So, what time did you wake up on the morning of October 5th?
Oh, tell me, grumpy Smurf.
I would believe around right before I sent the text message to Miss Michelle.
And that would, and I'm not trying to put
5:18.
so 5:15, correct?
Yes, sir.
You almost said it
And
again.
then you texted Miss Michelle, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And when you woke up and texted Miss Michelle, I assume you then left to go to work, correct?
I got ready and left. Yes, sir.
All right. And what did you drive on the way to work?
The Dodge Journey.
And I'm going to show you some pictures. Mark the States Exhibit 11. If you would look through States Exhibit 11. Is that the Dodge Journey that you drove?
Yes, sir.
All right. So you left and you went to work, clocked in around 6:10, 6:15, correct?
Yes, sir. Whatever time the clock kind has me at. Yes, sir.
All right. Did you make any stops along the way?
No, sir.
All right. You see in there a curveball, a fireball, and a natural light container, correct? As well as an orange vest or some sort of color.
Fireball, Sprite, another shot, orange vest, natural light. Yep.
And were those yours?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And when did you deposit them there?
None of your business.
To be
Shitty
honest, I
Smurf.
don't know.
But they're yours.
Yeah.
And I'm going to assume on October 5th, the police seized the van, correct?
Yeah, I was in the parking in the driveway.
Just kind of set up. Okay. But were those fair and accurate pictures of the van that morning?
Yes, sir.
All right. So do you know what time you left the house?
Not precisely.
Okay. And where exactly is the warehouse you work at?
Port Wentworth.
Okay. So that time of morning, what's the drive like?
Pretty heavy traffic for the most part.
How long does it normally take you to get there?
20, 25 minutes.
25 minutes? Okay. And I was curious, Mr. Dean played the video of you running in and then running out a short time later. What were you running in for?
I was probably a few minutes late.
You're already 10 or 15 minutes late though, weren't you?
I don't know to be precise. Whatever time his clock in was.
Whatever the clock says is what it was, but you're already late, right?
Sure.
Okay. Now, you said that you and Miss Simon met in 2020, correct?
Somewhere along those lines.
Okay. And that was in Dunn, North Carolina?
In person, yeah.
Right. And that was where you were at, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And she traveled up there. Y'all lived together for a minute, correct?
Absolutely.
How old are you, Mr. Youngkin? And today?
Today, I'm 30.
Okay. And how old you have been back then? 28, 27?
27, 26.
Okay. In 2020, you'd have been 26, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. In October of 2022, probably 28, 27, something like that.
Yeah.
All right. So when did you move back to Savannah?
I moved to Savannah. I didn't move back to Savannah.
Well, when did you move to Savannah then?
4 or 5 months into her pregnancy.
All right. So when was Sky born? Then what year? What month?
June 5th.
2022. Am I correct? All right. So it would have
Yes,
been,
sir.
again, February, March of 2022. You moved down here maybe?
Sounds about right.
Okay. And you lived at 535 Buckhalter, correct?
Yes, sir.
And that was Billy and Thomas's house, right?
Yes, sir.
Did you pay any rent while you lived there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you paid it to Billy and Thomas?
Cash out it to Billy.
Okay. And you lived there, and I'm just trying to recount it. When you first moved in, it was Joe that lived there, right?
Yes, sir. We lived upstairs.
All right. And it was you and Zane and Quentin and LEILANI and Billy and Thomas and Joe, right?
Before Sky was born, yeah.
Right. And then Sky was born.
In the house.
And then if I just remember correctly, then Joe moved out and Paul moved in, correct?
Somewhere along those lines, yeah.
So around the summer of 2022, that's an accurate picture of who was residing in the house, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, is it safe to say that y'all both took care of these kids and took the kids back and forth to the babysitter?
No, he did
For
them.
the most part, it was me.
So the most part it was you?
Yeah.
Okay. So on a daily basis, who was the one that would normally take them over to the babysitter?
Me.
He just said me.
Right.
Oh my God, this prosecutor, this defense lawyer is getting on my last damn nerve. My absolute last one. Adar the Halsey has been a member for 13 months. Can we cover the Johnny Somali trial when it happens? I want to watch the hit new Korean film Downfall of a Future Cabbage Farmer. Yeah, there's not going to be a lot to talk about. Well, I'll have to talk about how Korean. I'll do a show pretty soon on how Korean criminal trials work. There's really not there. First of all, there's no cameras or anything like that. Plus, they're handled a little bit differently here than they are in other places in the world, as far as scheduling and timing and how things work. I'll do a little breakdown of how it's all going to shake down here soon, probably right after this trial finishes. And AT1CB41 says, "What is that in the witness chair?" That is an admirable, distinguished son of a career military person who is a fine, upstanding young man who was the only person that showed those children any damn love whatsoever. He's the one that took them to school. He's the one that covered her ass when she couldn't get her drug-addled alcoholic self out of bed. He was the one that showed any emotion. He's the only one that's cried on the stand over the loss of the young boy. He's the only one that has done anything to show love or be a parent towards those children. That's who, not what, is on the witness stand. He is a great, great young man.
And how often would LEILANI do it?
Rarely.
All right. So, and who would pick him up in the afternoon?
Me.
All right.
If she worked, then both of us. If she worked.
If she worked? Okay. And so it was not unusual that you were the one who took care of these children, correct?
Correct.
All right. And it's not uncommon that you were the one that interacted with the babysitter, correct?
Correct.
And now let's talk about how often would you drink?
Daily.
Here we go.
How often daily?
As I stated yesterday, about 5 shots of Fireball and 3 to 4.
I told you he'd go down to that. You were drinking back then. You were a drinker back then. I pegged it. I told you he'd go there.
25-ounce beers.
Okay. And when did you normally drink? What was your routine?
Well, I couldn't leave work, so I'd go to work and I'd get off work and I'd stop by the liquor store in Port Wentworth on the way back to the house.
Did you ever stop by on the way to work?
No, they weren't open.
Did you ever drink before work?
They weren't open.
That's not the same question.
No, sir.
Okay. You can buy it ahead of time.
No, I drank to where there was nothing left.
So it's safe to say that your drinking habits were mostly after work and in the evenings.
Yeah.
Okay. And you, by your own admission, drank 4 or 5 Fireballs, and at least in this case, we knew a curveball and natural light. And then you said the 25 ounce, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And so now let's talk about the week leading up to October 5th. Were you and LEILANI bickering or fighting that week?
Probably.
Okay. Let me ask a more refined
Why is the
question.
defense lawyer laughing at that answer?
You said it was not unusual for her to go to Arkwright Road. Why is that?
For her to what?
Not unusual for, you said it was not unusual for her to go to Arkwright Road. Why was that?
To where?
Arkwright Road. 204.
No, not unusual.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. After she had her wisdom teeth out on October 4th, did y'all go by 204 on the way home?
Possibly.
Possibly? Or
I don't remember.
You don't remember?
No.
All right. Well, do you recall saying that you did?
I said it was a possibility, or probably did. I mean, I told you I went by the liquor
He's a
store.
liar because he doesn't remember clearly what road he went
So I
down
had already drank at that
once
point.
2 years ago.
Well, what kind of drinker are you? Are you a blackout drinker or a pass-out drinker?
Neither.
Okay.
Jesus.
Well, you just said you didn't remember. You'd already been by the liquor store.
Oh, fuck off. Fuck right off, you asshole. You arrogant, ignorant prick of an asshole. Just because he stops by the liquor store doesn't mean he's a blackout drunk or, oh my God, or a pass out drunk. Fuck off. Seriously. The guy might drink a bit much, but that doesn't, well, back then. But that has nothing to, okay, you guys, on a particular day, what road did you take to go from point A to point B 2.5 years ago? Well, I guess it's been 2 years and a couple of months ago. This is such horseshit.
I was wondering what going by the liquor store would have to do with affecting your memory.
I just don't have great memory. I used to do a lot of drugs.
All right. What kind of drugs did you used to do, Mr. Yankee?
That wasn't a helpful answer, but
Cocaine and marijuana.
Okay. And let me ask this. In the weeks, days, and hours leading up to October 5th, were you doing cocaine, marijuana, and alcohol?
Not marijuana, but cocaine and alcohol, yes, sir.
And when were you doing cocaine and alcohol?
After work.
On a daily basis?
Yeah.
Okay. So, a matter of fact, if you didn't drink and drug, it would have been unusual. Correct?
Yeah.
All right. Now, when you did drink and drug, where did you normally do it at?
In the house.
Where at in the house?
exactly, Daily Quick Bites. It's builds his credibility more than anything this clown is doing to tear it down. He's answering the questions honestly. He's not trying to evade it. He's taking responsibility for the dumb shit he was doing 2 years ago. So yeah, this is backfiring on the defense lawyer as far as I'm concerned.
On a dresser that was next to the bed.
All right, so you would do it in the room where the kids were.
Unfortunately.
Okay. And I'm not trying to pry or anything, just asking. So whenever you, and there's different ways to do it. You can smoke cocaine,
No.
sniff cocaine,
Yes.
or you can shoot cocaine.
No.
How did you do cocaine?
Sniff.
Okay. So when you're doing that, wouldn't you have to explain how you would normally do that?
Oh, come on. Relevancy.
Come
on, prosecutor, object.
What was your routine?
His routine for snorting cocaine has fuck all to do with your client murdering someone. Come on. Prosecutor, object. Or just let him answer the question. I mean, that's a possibility too. Just let him answer honestly and treat this guy with disdain and disgust.
I'm not sure I understand the question.
Okay, well, would you buy it?
Yeah.
Or would you send LEILANI to buy it?
I would buy it, or she would go buy it. I don't get
Okay.
it.
And did you have a dresser? You said the dresser that you put it on was in the bedroom.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you leave it on the dresser? Would you put it on a plate? What would you do with it?
On the dresser, it would be in a bag, or sniff it out of the bag, or put a line on the dresser and sniff it off the dresser.
All right. So and that's kind of the point I'm getting to. It's either in the bag on the dresser and you sniff it from the bag.
The dresser is like this tall.
That's fine. I'm just asking. The point is it was out on the dresser in the bedroom where the children were. That's my point.
Sure.
Okay. Now, is cocaine more of a stimulant or more of a depressant?
It's a hell of a drug.
Does cocaine give you energy or does cocaine make you sleepy?
For me?
Yes.
Sleepy, honestly.
And that's a fair assessment. So cocaine makes you sleepy. Does alcohol make you sleepy or energize you?
I kind of just evened out.
So in your case, cocaine made you sleepy and alcohol would give you a little bit of energy and it kind of evened you out.
He didn't say that.
Sure.
He didn't say that. He said it evened him out.
Now, when you did cocaine, would you also drink?
Yes.
Okay. And how much would you drink at that point in time?
I don't have an exact measurement.
Okay. Did you smoke at the same time?
No, I didn't smoke. I didn't smoke marijuana. I was not.
Cigarettes?
Cigarettes?
Yes.
Not often.
But when you did cocaine and drank, would you smoke cigarettes?
Sure.
Okay. And when you smoke cigarettes, would you smoke the cigarettes in the house or outside the house?
Outside.
Okay. And why was that?
So the house didn't smell like cigarettes?
Dumbass.
And it wasn't your house, was it?
No, it wasn't.
Okay. And I'm going to assume, and again, I don't think you had permission to smoke in the house, did you?
No, sir.
And I'm fairly certain you didn't have permission to do cocaine in the house either, did you?
No, sir.
Okay. Now,
He's a lawbreaker.
So you're not sure if you went to 204 after she had her wisdom teeth out. Y'all came home. You stopped by Cheddar's on the way home, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Got something to eat, came home, and she took her medicine and knocked herself out, right?
Sure. I'm not 100% sure. I honestly can't say for certain. But, I mean, yeah, that's my recollection of it.
All right. Well, let me ask you this. Y'all lived in this room, right?
For the most part.
Okay. It's an open room, correct?
Yeah.
The bed's in that room, correct?
Yes, sir.
The entertainment for the children is in that room, correct?
Yes, sir.
The place the children sleep is in that room, correct?
Yes, sir.
If you were interacting with the children, laying down, watching TV, or doing any of these things in your room, and she was sleeping, you would notice it, correct?
More than likely, yeah. I mean, as I said yesterday, we were at a point to where I didn't really pay much attention to what she was doing.
Okay. Well, do you recall telling the police that she went to sleep that afternoon?
Yeah, I mean.
Okay. Any reason why you'd make that up?
No.
Okay. So what time did she wake up that afternoon?
I don't remember.
All right. How did the kids get back from Michelle's that afternoon?
I believe we both went and picked him up
So, and what time was that?
around 4:30 or 5.
Right. Which is a normal time, right?
I guess. I mean, it's a couple hours later because we normally get off at like 2 or 3.
All right. So 5 o'clock, Quentin's fine, Zane's fine, and Sky's fine, correct?
Yes, sir.
At 6 o'clock on the evening of October 4th, Quentin's fine, Zane's fine, and Sky's fine, correct?
Yes, sir.
What are you and LEILANI doing at that point in time?
I don't remember.
Okay. 7 o'clock, are the children fine?
Yes, to my knowledge.
What are you and LEILANI doing at 7 o'clock?
I can't say for certain.
8 o'clock, are the children fine?
Yeah, to my knowledge. Absolutely.
What are you and LEILANI doing at 8 o'clock?
I can't be 100% certain. I was probably making dinner.
Okay. And 10 o'clock, the kids are laying down for bed, going to sleep at this point in time, correct?
Yeah. As was
Zane's,
I.
Zane's in his bed, correct?
Yes, sir.
Did you actually lay eyes on him?
I mean, he's visible.
Okay. Quentin's in his bed. Did you actually lay eyes on him?
He's not as visible, but yes.
Okay. And Sky's in her, I guess it's like crib or whatever it is, next to the couch, right? And you actually laid eyes on her as well, correct?
Yeah, she was at the end of the bed.
All right. So at 10 o'clock, kids are fine. You're there. Are you drinking or drugging at this point in time?
10 o'clock?
Yes.
No.
All right. And so at 10 o'clock,
Drinking and drugging.
was there any conversation about going to 204 that night between you and LEILANI?
Yeah, there's text messages.
And what was the nature of that conversation?
She said she was going to go to 204 and come back. I said, okay, can you make it quick?
All right.
I'd like to watch a movie and go to sleep so we can go to work.
All right. And that's basically what your text message said.
Yeah.
Come on back. See you soon.
Please.
Let's watch a movie, right?
Please. Yes.
So there was no, at least I'm not putting your words in my, from the text messages, there didn't seem to be any animosity between y'all at that point in time, correct?
For the most part.
Yeah. You're just looking forward to laying down, watching a movie together, right?
For the most part.
And again, were you drinking or doing any drugs that night?
That night?
Yes.
You said 10 o'clock.
Oh, and that night, after this, anytime that night.
Prior to 10 o'clock? Yeah, prior to when I laid down, yes.
Okay, what were you doing prior to 10 o'clock?
Drinking and the rest of the little bit of cocaine I had.
So you were drinking and doing cocaine up to 10 o'clock. And is that why you sent her to 204 to get some more?
I didn't send her to 10 to 204. She was the one who said she wanted to go to 204. That's in the text message.
Okay, I'm getting a little, just a little bit edgy, a little bit unhappy with the prosecutor for not objecting to those questions. That was definitely a "have you stopped beating your wife" type question. If you say no, that means you're still beating your wife. If you say yes, that means you were once beating your wife. Did she send you to go get cocaine? That's an objectionable question. If he says yes, then that means he sent her to get cocaine. If he says no, that means not that time. Come on. I don't. This guy is. This defense lawyer is getting on my last damn nerve. It's assuming facts that are not really in evidence. It's fuck.
Okay.
Just go.
So let me ask you this: who would normally get the drugs, you or her?
That would hurt people.
All right. And would y'all share drugs, or
Yes,
would
he
you
answered it
keep
well.
it separate?
Share it for the most part.
All right. So if you got some cocaine or some weed or some
I didn't get weed.
Percocets,
I didn't get Percocet.
all right. But if you got cocaine, you'd share.
Yeah.
And if she got it, she'd share.
No.
No.
No. She was selfish.
Okay. So you would share drugs.
Suck it, defense lawyer. Don't ask those questions if you don't know the answer to it, buddy. That was a sick little burn. No. She's selfish. Don't bogart the cocaine. Island with the $5. Risks what? But may have terrible taste in women. But it feels like a mistake to try to go after the one person who showed real emotion towards the victim. Yeah, and that's what he's doing. He's going after the one person that's honest, the one person that's caring, the one person that's showing any degree of concern for the child. And Adara the Wholesome with the $2. He's an example of not judging books by their covers. I completely agree with you. Thank you very much for those super chats. We are inching towards another day of Doggo Cam, but we're still very far away. Let's continue.
Bugs, but she wouldn't.
Yeah.
Did that cause any anger or animosity between you?
No, not really.
Okay.
Not for me.
Really? Okay. So whenever do you remember speaking with the police on October 5th? I believe it was an FBI agent and a detective from Chatham County Police Department.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember when they took you down to the station and interviewed you?
For a very long period of time.
Right. And do you remember that conversation with him?
There were quite a few.
Let's just start at the beginning then. Do you remember telling them there's nothing weird about her going to Arkwright Drive?
Yeah, sure. I mean, there's not anything weird about it.
And when LEILANI got back from 204, were you awake or asleep?
I was asleep.
You remember telling them that you were awake when she got back?
No, I don't remember, to be 100% honest. I really don't.
All right. And do you remember telling them you got up at 3 to take care of Sky?
It's possible that I did.
Okay. And do you remember saying that everything was fine at that point in time?
Possibly.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Whenever you would come and go from the house, did you come through the front door or did you always drive around back and come in through either the dining room or living room doors?
Never through the front door.
And that's because the parking's in the back, right?
Yes.
Okay. And it would not be unusual or uncommon that those doors are the ones that get all the movement, are they?
No, not uncommon.
Okay. And whose responsibility was it to lock those doors or secure those doors at night?
Everybody's? Whoever came in last.
Okay. But would it surprise you if those doors opened and closed a lot and weren't locked and stayed open?
Yes.
Okay. Would that be unusual?
Yes.
Okay. And do you remember going out, and again, you said you didn't smoke often, but would you go out on the patio to smoke when you did smoke?
The front or the back? It would depend.
Okay. But you would?
Sure.
Okay. Now, do you remember just a few minutes into the interview with the FBI agent, the Chatham County police officer, you got a little angry?
Possibly.
Remember saying it feels weird, I'm having a bad day, and
No.
okay. Well, it's been a long day, so. Do you remember telling them that you were a little antsy and you need a drink?
Probably.
Okay. Now, do you remember telling them that when you woke up at 3 a.m. that LEILANI was asleep?
No. Well, if I did, then that's probably something she told me to say.
Okay. And you remember telling them Quentin was okay at 3 o'clock?
Probably based on what she told me to say.
Mr. Youngkin, are you sitting here saying what you've been told to say?
Right now, no.
Okay. Sorry about that. My my boss called. I had to take care of an emergency phone call because I am a real practicing lawyer. Sorry. So your gut just kind of goes, ugh, when your phone starts to light up and you see it's your boss at 11 p.m. Sorry about that. I hope you don't mind. I want to go back and watch the part that I missed. So I apologize, but hope you don't mind. I'm going to go back a couple of minutes. So let's see here. I don't know how far to go. I'll just go back this far.
Everybody's? Whoever came in last.
Okay. But would it surprise you if those doors opened and closed a lot and weren't locked and stayed open?
Oh, they're talking about the doors that go outside and around, because the prosecutor was saying that during that night they opened the doors 40 or 50 times. So yeah, that's a bit weird. I don't think I open doors in my house like 50 times a month. Of course, I don't have 9 million people living in my house like they did too. But all right.
Yes.
Okay. Would that be unusual?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it'd be unusual.
And
they'd be asleep. Everybody should be asleep.
do you remember going out, and again, you said you didn't smoke often, but would you go out on the patio to smoke when you did smoke?
The front or the back? It would depend.
Okay. But you would?
Sure.
Okay. Now, do you remember just a few minutes into the interview with the FBI agent, the Chatham County police officer, you got a little angry?
Possibly.
Remember saying it feels weird, I'm having a bad day, and
No.
okay. Well, it's been a long day, so.
Well, I would guess that having one of the children in your house kidnapped, allegedly, or having something horrible happening to one of them going missing, I guess that would probably qualify as a bad day, counselor.
Do you remember telling
And yes,
them
been there, done that. You are
you were a
correct.
little antsy and you need a drink?
Probably.
Okay. Now, do you remember telling them that when you woke up at 3 a.m. that LEILANI was asleep?
No. Well, if I did, then that's probably something she told me to say.
And
Interesting.
remember telling them Quentin was okay at 3 o'clock?
Probably based on what she told me to say.
Oh.
Mr. Youngkin, are you sitting here saying what you've been told to say?
Right now, no.
Okay. So you have free will, correct?
Absolutely.
All right. Now, let's talk about that first day as well. Was that the day that you authorized the FBI to tap your phone for 90 days? 30 days at a time, I guess I should say.
What day? The date started on, I think it was the 8th. I think it was 10/8, 2022.
October 8th. All right, well, I'll ask that question. Let's just go back. That day, October 5th, did y'all go back to Buckhalter Road that day?
I believe it was like 2 or 3 a.m.
Okay, so it was October 6th.
Yeah.
Okay. And when was it y'all went to the hotel?
The 7th, maybe? I don't know 100%.
Okay. But you had agreed to
Absolutely.
have the video done, the audio done, and then give them your phone done, correct?
The phone happened later, but yes, I did.
Okay. And you say the phone happened later. They didn't dump it that day, October 5th?
What do you mean? Permission. I thought
As
you
a
were talking
philosophy
about
major,
30 days
that's
at a time.
funny.
No. I'm talking about just actually giving them your phone.
Yeah, on the 5th, absolutely.
Right. Because I remember you asked on the 5th to get your phone back, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I did.
So,
And I got it back.
all right. So now, did you notice anything about Quentin's crib the evening of October 4th.
Oh my God, I just boomered the hell out of that, didn't I? That was awesome. Oh God, what's wrong with me? Sorry, my boss has me discombobulated. Bear with me. Just bear with me a second, will you? Right. Okay, what happened there was I had this epiphany. I had this sudden realization that, you know what? When I had to reboot all of this, after StreamYard wouldn't let me in at the beginning of the show, I'd forgotten to put the video on 1.25 speed. And so I went to put it on 1.25 speed, and instead of minimizing it, I closed it. So, God damn it. We're back. Hi. All right. I was flustered. All right, now let's do this again. Put it on 1.25 speed. We got the closed captions down good. All right. Apologies. But I guess now's a good time. Well, I was going to do it like 10 minutes from now. Now's a good time to do our midstream grift. just bear with me a quick second here. Ladies and gentlemen, those of you that stick with me, even though sometimes I'm just nothing but a big ol' boomer. I'm glad you're here. I really, really am. There's 290 people watching right now and 174 likes. Please do me a favor. I mean, I've given you zero reason so far to hit the like button, but please do it. And if you're watching on replay, please, I guess, if it's in your heart, hit the like button, and please hit the subscribe button for some other reason. And if you are subscribed already, please just double check to make sure you still are. We have our like and subscribe poll to help ease the pain of just tickling the like and subscribe button. Today's like and subscribe poll, which is just specifically designed to remind you to do those YouTube things, is what are Strawberry and Yoda doing during the stream? Well, I mean, right now you can't see what they're doing because we're still like $85 away from getting the emotional support potato pig dog cam. So today may be the end. We're on day 57. Day 57 may be the end of the streak. We'll just have to see. But what are they doing during the stream? 12% of you say astral projection. 26% of you say using the Force to get doggo cam. Well, that's clearly not the answer because they're obviously weak in the use of even Master Yoda is failing in that ground. 28% say they're plotting world domination, and 33% in the number one slot, you say that Strawberry and Yoda are judging you for bad life choices. So that's the like and subscribe poll so far. All right, I think that's just about it. So they're currently waiting. Today may be the day. Are we only going to go 57 days? It's all in your hands. Are we going to meet the goal, chat? You decide.
Trip, the evening of October 4th.
No.
Early morning hours of October 5th.
No.
Anything unusual about it?
No. I wasn't really looking.
All right. How about I share the window here? Dang it. Let me embiggen it, shall I? There we go.
But no.
Okay. And I wonder if I could approach the witness for 1 second.
Listen to Stringer Bell. Judging by his profile pic, Streamer Bell knows.
I'll say what it is. Just look through it.
Stringer Bell putting his doggos where his mouth is. $4.99 with the lemon head laughing. Okay. Moving the needle a little bit further down the line. Thank you very, very much, Stringer Bell. By the way, if you guys haven't watched The Wire, what are you doing with your lives?
Okay.
Do you recognize any of these messages?
Yeah.
Okay. And what are these messages?
Text messages between me and Leilani.
Okay. And if you would turn to, I guess, the very back one. Let's start in the back and kind of work forward.
All right. Well, we're starting at the back. We're starting with Winks with a $20 super chat. Where are the darn dogs, people? Also, I feel so bad for this guy. I sure hope he's been able to move forward from all of this crap. Poor thing. Me too. I really, really do. He's a good kid. And he's like, well, okay. He's not, he looks young. He's 30 years old now. I shouldn't call him a kid. He's like 25 years younger than me. But all right. He's a good guy. Hope he's got his life together. Sounds like he does. Dang. Hate to see it happen. Thank you so much, Winks. Sonny or Chris dropping the big heat again. Brother, I don't know what to say to you, man. You get a big foghorn for that. Sonny A. Chris dropping the 10 Legal Vices memberships. Arizona Girl, Julian Emery, Brad Powers, Augusto Pinochet, Ralph 707, Bama Green Eyes, Casey, Agnieszka Adamkowitz, Brenda Reed, and who's the last person? Who's the last one? Pretend Judge. You got the Sonny A. Chris memberships. Give him a super special thanks. And also surprisingly, we also have Rare in the History. How you doing? It has been a minute. I've seen you bouncing around chat. They're just having a chance to give you a personal howdy. Howdy, Rare in the History. Good Lord. All right. Things are happening here. Rare in the History is gifted 5 Legal Vices membership. And that would be Private and Public, Nanwortham, West Tribe, Jeremy Love, and Valwraith. You got a gifted membership from the Rare in the History. Give Rare in the History a super special thanks. And Tease T has gifted 20 Legal Vices memberships. All right. God dang, people. Quick pause here. I apologize again. This midstream grift is longer than normal just because of all the shenanigans that are going on here. All you 20 people that just got a gifted membership, make sure you give Tease T a super special thanks. That's crazy again. God, these things, I never know what to say. Just thanks. But we are safely within the realm that we need to be in. Day 58 has not only been achieved, day 58 has been blown straight out of the damn water. So, ladies and germs, first thing we need to do is get rid entirely of this outdated, useless, pointless, and no longer relevant day 57, because we are in day 58 of the emotional support potato pig dog cam. And that got us over the line. That got us so far over the line that we are now in tier 2. We've now also achieved the second tier goal, which is the punishment shot for withholding the doggos from you for so long. Let's do things in order here. Ladies and germs, for the 58th time in a row, it's time to issue the command. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3.
Release the hounds.
Oh, they have been released. And here's our little boy and girl, Yoda and Strawberry. Straw's chewing on a bone. Yoda sleeping on the inappropriately shaped dog toy. Let me just zoom them out a little bit here so you can bask in the full glory of the doggos. All right, let's see here. Open up, sesame. Open sesame. All right, there we go. That'll be good. Peeps, thank you so much. And that also gets us to the punishment shot of bad whiskey, and it's the Double Day whiskey. This is the final drink. This is the final shot of the Double Day Double Day whiskey from Cooperstown Distillery. This is available, as far as I know, only at the Baseball Hall of Fame. It's aged an astounding 6 months. What an amazing bourbon this isn't. Thank God this is gone. I'm running. It's just. Thank you so much. Cheers for getting us to the second tier. I'd rather do Fireball, to be honest. Oh, God. Ugh. It just tastes like rubbing alcohol. Ugh. But it's gone now. I'll never have to touch it again. Thank you, chat. Let's move forward with this. 305 people here, 207 likes, 98% of you. 98 of you, not 98% of you. 98 of you haven't done your job. You're gonna hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button, and let's continue with this ridiculous cross-examination, shall we? Thank you for that flurry of stuff, people. God, really, honestly, love you all to dang death.
You see the one from September 30th?
Ooh, I don't know. This is a great way to start. I don't know what he's going to ask, but he was disgusted with something he just read. He just gave a great eye roll there. What? I can't wait to hear what this is about.
The very back one. Let's start in the back and kind of work forward.
This eye roll. This is a whole head roll.
You see the one from September 30th at 8:04?
That's a whole damn head roll.
Yes.
Okay. This is about 5 days prior to Quentin's disappearance, is it not?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
And it's from who to who?
From me to her.
All right. And if you would, what did you say to her that particular day?
Like, I'm always supposed to deal with your asshole moves and the mean ass kids when you get mad and dip and take shit from me.
What particular shit are you talking about here, Mr. Youngkin?
Money, drugs.
And which mean ass kids are you referring to here, Mr. Youngkin?
All three.
Well, Sky's an infant, so
Yeah, she was being mean that day.
How can an infant be mean, Mr. Youngkin?
She wasn't being mean. She was just crying a lot.
Okay. So how would Quentin or Zane be mean? They're children.
Zane was a handful.
How's that?
Because he was always high energy and high strung. He didn't want to go to sleep when we would say that. And I would be the one that would always deal with him.
Okay. All right, let's look at the next one. It looks like this one's just a few minutes later. September 30th at 8:47.
Yeah, I said, I'm such an idiot. I see it.
No, you said a little bit more than that.
I am such a ducking idiot. I see it.
And you meant to say something else, but
yeah, well, autocorrect.
All right, let's go on to the next one on September 30th at 8:46.
Yeah.
That's from you to who?
These aren't in order.
No, they're not. Admittedly.
I said, still at 2:04. WTF taking so long?
What's that referring to?
Why was she still gone?
Well, what would she go to 2:04 for?
For herself, probably.
So.
Or us both.
All right. Drugs, maybe?
Yeah, absolutely. That would be the only, to my knowledge.
And so you were a little irritated because she wasn't back with the drugs, weren't you?
I was just, no, it wasn't because she wasn't back with drugs. She wasn't back.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go on to the next one. If you will.
Oh my God. Now he's a manipulative piece of shit that hates the kids and is trying to control and dominate her. Come on, dude.
And you fucking wonder why I'm just trying to drink, do drugs, and sleep.
This was September 30th at 9 p.m.
Uh-huh. Yes, sir. Sorry. I apologize. Absolutely.
So, did that pretty much sum up what you were looking to do at that point in time in your life?
Yeah, honestly.
I'm going to ask it's not a flippant question, but at this point in time, you're a grown man, 28 years old.
Sure.
Just leave.
Just leave my daughter?
Mm-hmm.
No.
You fuckwit.
All right. So you understand it's an option, though?
Not in my eyes.
I love this guy. This guy deserves all the award and all the kudos. You do what? Just leave. Leave my daughter? Yeah. Fuck off, you idiot. He's not going to leave his damn daughter. But it's an option. Yeah, he's like, no, not to me, it's not. As someone who's been in that position where, oh God, come on, dude, don't be a dick. This prosecutor is now he's gone from dickish to just a dick. Come on. Adara the Wholesome with the $2. Got to give counsel credit. I almost hate him more.
So, but you would rather stay, drink, do drugs, and sleep.
I'd rather be there for my daughter.
Well, I understand. Let me ask you this. When you're drinking, doing drugs, and sleeping, how are you there for your daughter?
Shut up.
Not as well as I should have been.
Well, not at all, really.
Oh, fuck off.
That's an opinion.
Objection.
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 Sleeping. How are you there for your daughter?
Not as well as I should have been.
Well, not at all, really, are you?
That's an opinion.
Is that your opinion?
That I could have done better, yes.
Oh,
Well, that's all the ones for September 30th. Let's look on October 1st. This is 4 days prior.
all right. I'm going to give my theories to why I think that the prosecutor's not objecting. I think he's seeing something from the jury. Maybe maybe he sees where this is going, and he's just letting this guy act like an asshole because he knows it's going to be more effective than if he objects all the time. And I can see the merits to that. The dude is answering the questions wonderfully. He's taking responsibility for things. He's not hiding things. He's not lying. He's not obfuscating. He's manning the fuck up and taking his lumps where they're dealt. He's coming off looking great, and it's the prosecutor, it's the defense that's looking like an asshole. So I can see the merit in letting the guy just go rather than making it look like you're trying to hide something from you. Rather than making it look like the prosecutor is trying to hide something that this guy might say by objecting. So I see why he's maybe if that theory I have is correct, I can see why he's doing it. But it's just annoying the hell out of me that this is going on. So. Yeah, yes and no.
At 12:26 a.m. From.
Are you asking me to read all these?
Well, I'm asking you who's this from and who's it to?
And D, there you're also correct.
What time?
The 12:26.
There will be
From
redirect.
And what does it say?
You almost had your whole bag, and some of both of the bags that I had went and bought.
What bags is she referring to?
Cocaine, which was inaccurate.
So you went through both bags.
That's inaccurate.
It may be inaccurate, but that's what the text message says, correct?
Yes, sir.
And it says you went through both bags of cocaine.
According to her.
Okay. Well, let's go on to the next one that you sent back to her.
No bag, no love, no niceness.
Okay. So basically, your mood was contingent upon the drugs that you had, correct?
That was inclusive with the no love, no niceness.
Okay. Let's go to 10/1/2022, 12:27 a.m. That was from who to who?
Her to me.
And what was this referencing?
Then expected. That's not in order. It says, and then expected me to come inside while you talk shit and share when you had a G yesterday.
What's a G?
A gram.
All right. So she's saying that she wasn't going to share because you had an entire gram to yourself.
An entire gram.
Not true.
Okay. Look at the next text message from October 1st, 1:34
entire
from
gram.
you to LEILANI.
Yeah. Can't come in and lay down at 2 a.m. Just go out and fuck around and don't ask me or tell me shit. Me referring to her leaving in the middle of the night and not saying anything.
Okay. You're upset, needless to say.
Well, yeah. At the time. And I gave up.
So did it upset you whenever you noticed that she wasn't there in the middle of the night?
Occasionally. Most of the time I just accredited it to do her doing whatever she wanted to do.
Let's look at the next one on 10/1 at 1:34. It looks like from LEILANI to you.
You can go out and do what you want tomorrow night. And you said you wish you knew. Well, now you know.
And that's basically saying you can go do what you want tomorrow night, right?
From her, yeah.
Right.
Like I would do that.
Well, whether you did it or not,
I guess that's her giving me permission to leave the next night.
Did you leave the next night?
Nope.
Right. And what was your reply back?
You know damn well I can't do shit.
And why is that?
Because I'm the one that takes care of the children.
Okay. And look at the next one from October 1st at 1:40.
Like I said, it's not in order, but yeah.
Is that to LEILANI from you?
Yep.
And what does it say?
Bet it'll be 3 a.m. before I see you and no beer.
3 a.m. drinking beer?
Yeah.
Was that unusual or uncommon?
Depending on the day. If I didn't have to work the next day, probably not.
And this is later.
Do you want me to read this one?
October 1st at 2:19. Yes, sir.
But want me to be all over you when you run off at night like this and lie and don't respond.
And that has to do with withholding sexual attention, correct? I assume that's what it means.
What do you mean?
What?
What do you mean?
Well, you tell me. I'm assuming that's what you mean. You want me to be all over you when you run off at night like this. What does that mean?
Anything intimate.
Right. So,
Anything intimate, not just sexual, anything.
So that was withholding affection, correct? That's what you're threatening there.
That's what I'm threatening. I wasn't threatening.
Okay.
That was me saying she wants that, but how am I supposed to do that when she does this?
Okay. Let's look at the next one from October 2nd. You may remember this, you may not remember this.
Oh, I don't know what this is.
All right. And you see the picture there?
Vaguely.
All right. We'll go to the next one then. See if that helps.
I guess it's a haircut.
Were y'all talking about getting Quentin's haircut?
It wasn't my choice. I think.
Well, that's what LEILANI was. That's from her to you, correct?
Yeah, I guess she was thinking about getting Quentin's haircut.
And that was on October 2nd, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's look at October 2nd that evening at 8:43.
Yes, sir. It's not my fault. I'm so sorry.
October 2nd at 8:43. That was from you to LEILANI, correct?
Yep. Should have gotten Zane to chill or left me something before you tell me to fucking chill.
Left you what?
Some drugs.
I want to punch this defense lawyer in his neck meat so hard. Ugh.
Okay. And what was Zane doing that night?
Being high energy.
Wouldn't listen. Basically being a kid.
If that's how you want to put it, yes, sir.
All right. And October 2nd at 8:56, you sent another text message to LEILANI?
I want to know why I don't understand the context. I want to know why I wish I did, because I didn't get any when I even begged. I don't know.
Maybe. You don't understand. You don't know that's about.
No, I don't.
Does he understand that these text messages, although, guy was being a little bit extra, it's also showing that his client, the defendant, is stealing shit, is berating him, is being lazy, is ignoring and neglecting her children, is doing drugs, is going out and buying drugs. Does he understand that it's also revealing that his client is doing all of this? Not a great move.
Don't know the context.
All right. Let's look at the next one then and see if that helps put it in context.
It doesn't, but I want to tell me why it looks like you touched my bag from her to me.
Okay. And
Also incorrect.
so but put it in context, that may have been about drugs, correct?
Could have been, possibly.
All right. And let's go to October 3rd. This is the evening of October 3rd. I think this is the day before the wisdom tooth, if I'm not mistaken. This is 11:34 p.m. and it's from LEILANI to you. And what does she say to you?
This is backwards, so it's kind of hard to get everything in context. And some of it's not even in order.
Well, that's fine. You can put it in order. But
I don't have time. It says, so I've kind of been waiting for you at the same time, which is why I asked what you were doing. I do not know what that's referring to.
All right, well, that's fine. Let's go to the next one then. It's just an okay, right?
Yep. Just me saying okay.
And what's the next one?
Her saying, I guess she was outside, sitting on the front porch.
All right.
Just I thought you said you was going to hit that line and come smoke a cigarette.
If I hit that line, what does she mean by that?
What she had left on the dresser for me.
For you to do?
Yep.
And by do, I mean cocaine, correct?
Yes, your client left her
And this was about
cocaine.
11:30 at night, give or
She
take.
left a little bit of cocaine to share with him.
11:33:47.
And let's look at the next one from her to you.
11:33:32.
Yeah.
Just put out my blunt and lit a cig.
All right. And the next one, 11. This one's kind of out of order.
I said, "Are you coming?" As in, "Are you coming to bed?"
Yeah.
At 11:32:19.
And let's go on to October 4th, which we kind of have a little bit about this already. There's one from October 4th at 10:41.
10:41:37. She said, "I'm about to turn on 204."
And the next one,
I said at 10:44:24. "Thank you for the little bit left. So sweet, no lie."
and what little bit left were you referring to?
Whatever she left me on the dresser.
Drugs.
Yep.
All right. So at least at that point in time, on the night of October 4th, you were at home with the children under the influence while she's out getting more drugs, correct?
Yes.
Okay. At any point, did you ever tell them this?
Yes.
When?
The interview?
Okay.
Initial interview?
All right. Well, let's go
It
ahead.
was a very long period of time, so I'm pretty sure I told him everything I knew.
All right. That being said,
Or could remember.
you were doing cocaine at least at 11 o'clock at night on October 4th. And
10:45.
10:45. 10:45.
And I probably did that and then fell asleep,
Because cocaine makes you sleepy.
as we stated.
Okay. And you were drinking as well.
Probably the last year I had left.
But when you went to sleep, Quentin was fine, Zane was fine, and Scott was fine, correct?
Yes, sir. At around 10:45, 11 o'clock.
So do you know what time LEILANI got back that night?
Nope.
Okay. Do you remember telling the police that you were awake when she got in?
Probably initially.
Okay. But you changed your story, didn't you?
Possibly. I don't know.
Okay. Well, if
I did it based on memory and what I was recalling at the time.
well, if you say A is true and it turns out that B is true, they both can't be true, can they?
Depending.
Well, either you saw her and you were awake or you were asleep when she got in.
Yeah, very true.
Right. Now, you got up at 3 a.m. to feed Sky, like you always did, you said.
Probably initially, that's probably what I said.
And you told them Quentin was fine, Zane was fine, and Sky was fine, correct?
Initially, I believe so.
Okay. And you also said you, of your own accord, called the babysitter and said the kids were staying home.
I texted her at 5:20 and said the kids will be with her.
Excuse me, texted and said the kids were going to stay home with LEILANI, right?
Yes.
Did you discuss this with LEILANI?
She wouldn't wake up, but that was something that I had done in the past, because if she wasn't going to get up and go to work and I was going to go to work, then why am I paying for the babysitter?
So
Good
you-
point, young
you were
man.
A little bit angry she wouldn't wake up and go to work, right?
No, not really. I was just going to get my job done.
Miss Young, can I have a few?
I may sound irritated at the moment, but no.
Right. Now let's talk about Azalea Mobile Home Park.
Okay.
Buckalter Road, you have 3 different trash cans out there, right?
Yes.
Okay. And you're the one that collects those trash cans and takes them to the Azalea Mobile Home Park to dump. That was your testimony to Mr. Dean?
Yeah, for the most part I was, until
Okay.
Paul got there, and Paul was the one that had the keys to the truck, so Paul likes to take the trash out.
I'm curious. So they have trash collection out there?
We didn't, at that residence, I don't know. That wasn't my house.
Well, it just seems a very odd thing that.
That's what I was told to do.
Okay. Well, who told you to do that?
I don't remember exactly, but that's just one of
Of course, he was told to take the garbage, drive to the trailer park, and to throw it in their dumpsters, because the owners of the house, LEILANI's mom and the people living there, didn't want to pay the garbage collection fees. Duh. So instead of paying the garbage fees to have it collected at their house, they dumped them in the local dumpster. Exactly, Scunny 262. They didn't want to pay for the service. Exactly. Like it's his fucking fault that the owner of the house says throw the garbage out there.
the things that happened. I don't understand.
So Paul, either you or Paul were the ones that took the trash off there.
Yes. In the Silverado.
Right.
Never in the Dodge Journey.
You're absolutely correct. In the Silverado. But you don't know whether or not there was garbage collection on Blood Culture Road or when they collected garbage?
I don't believe they paid for that service. I think it's something you have to pay for. I'm not 100% sure.
Yep.
Do you know if the service is offered?
No, I don't.
Okay. Well, have you ever seen garbage trucks up and down the road?
It wasn't my
okay
house.
if you don't. Yeah, it's okay if you don't. But I mean,
No, it wasn't my house.
okay. You didn't pay attention to it, is what you're saying.
No, I just did what I was instructed.
Oh. Now, but you did agree to have the hotel room wired for 3 days, correct?
Fuck yeah.
And my cell phone.
When did you leave Savannah after this?
I believe it was the day that I signed the paper for my cell phone to be tapped.
You left Savannah that day?
I believe so.
Okay. And that's when you moved away from Savannah?
I went and stayed in Atlanta for a weekend, and then I moved back with my parents.
So whatever day is on that particular item, that was the day.
I can't wait for the
believe so. If
redirect.
not, it was the next day.
Do you have custody of Sky?
No, I wasn't even legitimized.
Do you
And I was threatened multiple times that my daughter would be taken away from me by LEILANI.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. Do you have custody of Sky now?
No, I don't.
Who does?
Objection, Your Honor.
What's
What is the
wrong?
relevance?
What's wrong? All the questions I got.
In just a moment, Mr. Dean may have some further questions for you.
Sorry.
I do ask the redirect, Your Honor, but I do agree.
Yeah, I would imagine that he does have a few redirect questions to ask this guy.
Okay.
So I suspect I would do that.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, a good time to take a break. Let's take a 15-minute break, ladies and gentlemen. It's 10:02. Let's be back about 10:20. We're in recess.
Scooch on through here. When does the lunch break happen? Okay, the lunch break happens at about the 3-hour mark. We are currently at the 1 hour. The 1 hour and 7 minute mark. We're not going to make it to the lunch break because I didn't have it at 1.25 speed for the first hour. And then I boomered it a bit.
For bringing in the jury. Okay, and Mr. Hilliard, you ready to proceed?
We are, Judge.
Okay, please bring in the jury. Just a moment.
Witness back on the stand.
Hello, Elmo.
Yes. Take your. You understand that you remain under oath?
Yes, sir.
Let's bring out the jurors.
Oh, and by the way, in case you didn't know, LEILANI Simon's mother apparently started litigation to take custody of all 3 of the children back in April. I don't know how it turned out yet, but we just got an Aussie Overlord raid. Aussie Overlord Raiders, welcome to day 4.1 of the LEILANI Simon murder trial. We're just about to get to the redirect of the boyfriend of the defendant, LEILANI Simon. So welcome, Aussie Raiders. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button on your way in. Muchly appreciated. Mariko, you thought it was filed about the toddler that was unalived? You can't have custody over a dead child. It's for the I guess I said all 3. The two surviving children. She's filed an action for custody for the 2 surviving children.
Ladies and gentlemen, please have a seat. And jurors, were you able to continue to comply with the court's instructions?
Yes.
All right, very well, thank you. Mr. Dean.
All right,
I
redirect.
think you were asking questions on cross-examination about where you all kept cocaine.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell me again where you kept it?
There was a dresser across from the bed that was like 4 feet tall, 5 feet tall.
Was there also a dresser next to the bed?
Yes, sir.
Which one was taller?
The one across from the bed.
You're saying that's the one that y'all kept the cocaine in?
Yes, sir.
Why that dresser and not the other one?
Because it was taller and less. It was. They couldn't reach it. The kids couldn't reach it.
I'd like to show you a picture and ask if you can just explain to us which piece of furniture you're talking about, okay?
Yes, sir.
States Exhibit 10. Are we seeing in this picture the piece of furniture that you're talking about?
Yes, sir.
Where in this piece of furniture or on this piece of furniture would you guys keep cocaine?
There's a shelf in there that's at the top, near the top, and then on top of it,
And how do you open that piece of furniture?
with that door handle right there. Well, with that knob.
So you have to pull that knob to open it,
Yes, sir. And there's a shelf near that hinge, sort of at the bottom of it,
like right here,
like towards the bottom of it. Yeah.
towards the bottom of the top hinge.
Yeah, there should be a shelf in there.
Okay. Did you ever see Quentin open that piece of furniture?
No, never.
If he had, was he able to open it to your knowledge?
No, not to my knowledge. I believe it was taller than he could reach.
And had he been able to open the door, would he have been able to reach to the top shelf?
No.
And are you saying that that's specifically why you kept it up there to keep it away from the kids?
Yes, sir.
Was Quentin able to get out of his pack and play?
No, sir.
How much were y'all paying for cocaine at this time?
Quite a little bit, actually.
What do you mean by that?
20 to 40 a bag.
And how much is the bag? Like how much are we talking about in the bag?
0.3, 0.5, something like that.
0.3 or 0.5?
Put up a gram.
Okay, so less than a gram.
Yes.
And how much money is that, you said?
$40 would get you probably like a 0.5, maybe.
So did you consider cocaine to be expensive?
Yeah.
Were y'all in the habit of just leaving it laying around?
No.
Once you bought cocaine, would you be careful to take care of it and safeguard it?
Yeah. As much as possible.
Now, I want to ask you some questions about Defense Exhibit 1 that was shown to you, but I don't think was introduced into evidence. Is that right, Madam Clerk? Was Defense Exhibit 1 introduced into evidence formally?
Yes.
It was?
That's one? Or
That's
defense
Defense
one?
Exhibit
Oh,
1.
no, it was not.
I've marked it, the copy that I was given, it states Exhibit 87. Danny, you've identified these as text messages that you sent to the defendant over a period of time.
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, I would introduce this in states 87.
Yes.
No objection. I was gonna wait for the detective to cross mark it if that's one, if that's okay. It states 87. I'm good with that, Jim.
Okay, that's fine.
Now, I've given that copy to the witness, and I'm going to grab the copy on the clerk's table so that I can follow along myself. Okay.
And while he's grabbing that, we'll point out that Jill M's with the Aussie $5 says, just because I can, and a big old heart. Thank you, Jill. Appreciate that. You're awesome.
Danny, what's the date and time of the message that you're looking at on the page that I turned to?
October 1st, 2022, 1:34:29 a.m.
All right. And what did you say in this message?
I said, can't come in and lay down at 2 a.m. Just go out and fuck around and don't tell me or don't ask me or tell me shit.
What did you mean by don't ask me or tell me shit?
Just, I was unaware of her whereabouts or that she left or what she was doing.
What did you mean by fuck around? Just can't come in.
Do whatever she wanted to do.
Did you know what she was doing?
No, I didn't ever ask.
And that was at 1:34 a.m.
Yes, sir.
Can you flip to the page in front of that? What's the time of this message?
Is this the one from her? Is that what you were saying? Or is it, wait, at 1:34 or 12:27?
We'll just go out there. How about that?
Yeah, sorry. This is the one we were at. So are you talking about this one? Yeah, that one. Okay.
Now, I've flipped forward a couple pages. What is the date and time of this message?
10/1/2022, 1:40:37 a.m.
That's like 5 minutes after the last one that we read.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay, go back to it, please. All right. And what did you say here?
That it'll be 3 a.m. before I see you, and no beer.
All right. Do you remember where, if anywhere, she had told you that she was going at this time?
No.
Did you know what she was doing?
No.
Did you have any suspicion as to what she was doing?
Yeah.
And what was that?
204.
Coke.
For however long she felt like staying there for.
All right. Can you turn to the next page? Yeah, the one in front of it. Okay, and this is what date and time?
10/1/2022, 2:19:08 a.m.
All right, so same morning, but like
40 minutes.
40 minutes later or something like that.
40 or 50, yeah.
40 or 50
Well, it's
minutes.
1:35, so 2:20, so 25, 20, 45 minutes.
Okay. Was she still gone at the time of this message?
Yes, sir.
And what did you say to her?
But want me to be all over you when you run off at night like this and lie and don't respond?
And you thought she was at 204?
Yeah.
Right. And that's where y'all would get drugs from?
Yes, sir.
I can take that back. How far was let me ask you this. When we say 204 and Arkwright Lane, are we talking about the same place?
Yes, sir.
The drug dealer's residence?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How long, if all you wanted to do was drive from 535 Buckalter, or also
Coast long to bang the drug dealer.
if all you wanted to do was drive from 535 Buckalter to 204, aka Arkwright Lane, and buy drugs and then come home, how long would that take?
A maximum of like 40 minutes.
Okay. Were there times, perhaps including the time period encompassed in these messages that we've just gone through, where the defendant would go to 204 / aka Arkwright Lane for longer than it would take to just buy drugs?
Yes, sir.
And is that kind of what you were complaining about in those messages?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Hilliard asked you about those messages or some messages like them. Were you upset that she wasn't home with the drugs yet? Do you remember him asking you that?
Yes.
And you responded, no, I was just annoyed that she wasn't home yet, that she was still out.
Yes, sir.
Is that accurate?
Yes, sir.
One moment, please, Your Honor. All right, I'd like to approach with what I marked as State's Exhibit 86, Your Honor.
Has 86 been entered into, has it been admitted into evidence?
No, Your Honor, that has not been offered yet.
All right, thank you.
Wait, Funsky, Billy Joe. Wait, so Leilani's mother. So Leilani's brother is in prison for murdering her mother's boyfriend.
I've handed the witness what I've marked as State's Exhibit 86. Sir, if you could go through that, take as long as you need, and then let me know when you're ready to talk about that document, okay?
Hashtag yikes.
Okay.
Do you recognize that, Danny?
Yeah.
Can you tell us what it is?
Text messages between me and Leilani.
And what is the start date of those messages?
10:04 p.m. on the 4th of October, 2022.
Okay, what's the end date and time?
11. My last text message was 11:01 p.m. Her last text message was 11:10 p.m. on the 4th of October, 2022.
Is it fair to say that these are your text messages from that night?
Yes, sir.
Does this fairly and accurately depict your text message communications that night?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, I would offer this as states 87.
Object, Judge.
And may I call it 86? Pardon.
86.
Thank you. All right, I'd like to start on towards the bottom of page 4. And let me ask you this: can you see the screen from where you're at? You turn to the side, can you see it?
Yes, sir.
Can you read off of that screen? All right. I don't know if it's one of those screens where if you're at an angle.
No, I can see it.
Okay. So from here on out, can we just work off the screen together, please?
Yeah.
I think that'd be easier.
Absolutely.
This green message here, can you tell us the time of this?
6:06 p.m. 10/4/2022.
Okay. So this is the evening of October 4th.
Yes, sir.
But this would be some hours before she left on this 204 trip, correct?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
And the next message here, what does this one say?
I'm gonna run to 204, I guess, at 10:32:20 on the 4th of October, 2022.
Okay. So is it fair to say then that this message right here is basically like your first nighttime text message
Yes, sir.
between you and her? I know it's not your text message.
Yes, sir.
Scrolling down, what time did you respond to that?
10:32:41, so 20 seconds later.
Okay. And what did you say?
Oh, ... okay.
Now-
Space ...
Can I take from those two messages, well, the fact that she texts you, gonna run to 204, I guess. Can I take away from that she was already gone from the house at the time she sent that message to you?
Yeah, it was either that or she was sitting on the front porch.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure, to be honest.
And your response, oh, okay. Why did you respond that way?
Because I was already laying down and ready to go to bed for the next morning to go to work at 6.
Were you surprised that she was
Yes.
all of a sudden going to 204 at this time of night?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Considering that we had work and that she had just gotten her tooth pulled earlier that day,
And
I just said, be safe, I guess.
that was how long after, oh, okay.
2 minutes and 8 seconds on the 4th of October, 2022.
Now, what time was the next message? And you can drop the seconds.
The next minute after, and she said, I will be, so she was responding, I'll be safe and I'll be quick, I promise.
And what did you say to that?
I hope so.
And that was like the same minute.
21 seconds left. Yes, sir.
And what did you say next?
3 minutes later, Paul showed up and is going to bed.
And can I presume that the defendant was still gone at this point?
Yes, sir.
What did she say to that?
Wow. Okay.
And then what did you say?
He said something about telling you he was on the way and then you leaving and him getting threatened to get ran over.
Can you just kind of explain to us what, it sounds like that's a reference to some.
Yeah, I think he had like an incident on the road on the way back to the house or something.
And then what's her next message to you?
At 10:41, she said, I'm about to turn onto 204. And I said, okay, at the same minute.
And what's the next message?
She said, no, he said, in a little bit.
What is that a reference to?
I believe it's in reference to Paul. I'm honestly not 100% sure.
And then your next message, maybe that'll clarify.
That's what I said. Oh, yeah, I remember it. Sorry.
Can you first read the message and tell us what this particular part of the exchange means?
That's what I said, you said, he said. But he said something about it was something about no, it was I'm on the way or something.
Was there, let me just ask you this, does this exchange refer to some sort of like miscommunication between the defendant and Paul about when exactly Paul was going to get out?
Yeah, that's what I'm gathering from it. Yes, sir.
And then at 10:44 at the top of page 7 of this document, what did you say?
Thank you for the little bit left. So sweet, no lie.
And what were you referring to here?
She left a little bit of coke on the top of the dresser for me.
Was it in a bag or not in a bag or what?
I think it was a little line left out.
How much was it?
0.05 gram.
Was it the last? I'm going off of the text of the message here. Was it the last of what y'all had in the house at that point?
Legal-minded friends, Paul is Leilani's brother.
I think. Well, let me ask you this. Earlier, I think Mr. Hilliard may have asked you, were you drugging and drinking at that time? And I think you said, was that an intentional misrepresentation?
No, it was not.
Do you remember coming up to Savannah maybe a month or so ago and sitting down to talk to me in preparation for this trial?
Yes, sir.
And do you remember our going through all these messages together?
Yeah, I do now.
And do you remember my specifically asking you what that text message meant?
Yes, I do.
Do you remember freely admitting to me at that time?
Yes, I do.
Reference to a little bit of cocaine.
Yes, I do.
What's your next message here?
I just noticed it. Paul asked if soda was free to drink because of kids only on Hawaiian Punch. Sounds like I'm sleepily texting.
Why do you say that?
Because I barely understand what I'm saying.
Now, was this the point in the night where Paul was getting something to eat or drink in the kitchen?
Yes, sir.
And how did she respond to that?
Yeah, just tell him not to be excessive with it.
And what did you say?
Gotcha.
Now, this next message, what time are we at here?
10:45.
And read to us what you say to her.
I love you. Please come back so we can crash together.
Number of R's, let me edit together there.
4.
What are you wanting to do at this point?
Go to sleep.
Do you know where you were in the house when you sent this message?
Laying in the bed.
What if anything was holding you back from going to sleep at this point?
Her being back.
Now, scrolling down to the top of page 8,
6 minutes later.
what did you say to her?
Or not.
Has she responded to your last message about come back so we can crash together?
No.
So you say or not, and what did she say?
I love you.
And what did she say next?
And I'm about to be walking to the car.
And what time was that message sent?
10:51.
And your response?
1 minute later, I said, oh, okay.
And your next message?
I guess I'm gonna eat this food and stay up for a few. So I guess I was sleepy.
Do you know what food you were referring to?
I believe it was spaghetti.
What were you doing at this point in time?
Laying down in the bed and trying to wait on her.
As far as you were concerned, was the day pretty much over at this point?
Yes, sir.
And what was your next message and when?
10:56. I said, I don't want to be tired or you be tired either. Hey.
And that was how long after the last message where you said, I guess I'm going to try to stay out for a few minutes?
4 minutes.
You're still wanting to go to bed at this point?
Absolutely.
Just wanting her to come home so you can do that?
Yes, sir.
And how did she respond to that?
I know, maybe.
And what did you say?
I know you don't feel great. I don't know how you're still up. And I wanted to watch a movie. Sad moment.
And what time did you send that message?
1 minute later, exactly.
How are you feeling at this point?
Sad and tired.
Did she respond to that message?
No.
What's the next message?
4 minutes later, I said, moi.
What does that mean? I don't mean to embarrass you, I just don't know.
A
who
kiss.
knows. All right, it's a text message representation of kissing noise.
Yeah.
Okay. And when did you send that message?
4 minutes later.
What time of night?
11:01.
All right, 11:01 p.m. on 4.
Yes, sir.
Did she respond to that message immediately?
No, it was 9 minutes later.
And what did she say?
The same thing.
Is that the last text message you sent to anybody that night?
Yeah, I believe so.
All right. And at the time that you sent this message at 11:01 and didn't get a response, what were you doing?
I believe I went to sleep.
Okay. So if there has been maybe some lack of clarity at times as to whether you were
Awake or asleep
or going to sleep when she gets home from 2:04, could that be because you're sort of in the process of going to bed at that point?
Yes, sir. Based on my text messages and spelling, I can see that as well. And my lack of remembering correctly.
You mentioned that this was not a one-time thing where she would kind of go out and be gone and you don't know exactly what she's doing.
Yes, sir.
Is this sort of normal type of text messages for you to send to her during that time frame?
Yes, sir.
Does anything in these text messages suggest that anything abnormal had happened in the house at this point?
No.
Now, going back to the morning of October 4th, before these messages, so let's go back to the dentist, okay?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes, sir.
Well, actually, let's go to work before the dentist, all right?
Yes, sir.
The two of you, did you drive to work together in the journey?
Yes, sir.
And I think you've talked about how you clocked out early to go to the dentist.
Yeah, to take her.
Did the two of you drive together in the journey to the dentist?
Yes, sir.
Do you remember who was driving?
Me.
And then while she was at the dentist, you testified that you went to the liquor store.
Yes, sir.
And did you then come back to the dentist?
Yes, sir.
All right. When you went to the liquor store from the dentist, did you walk or did you drive in the journey?
I drove in the journey.
And when you came back to the dentist, did you therefore drive back in the journey?
Yes, sir.
And then I think you said from the dentist's office, you guys went to Cheddar's.
Yeah. Yes, sir. I believe it was in the same area.
Did you drive to Cheddar's in the journey?
Yes, sir.
And then you testified that from Cheddar's, you went home, right?
From my memory, yeah.
Okay. In any case, there was more driving in the journey that day.
Yes, sir.
And then at some point you're home.
Yes.
Okay. At any point that day, driving that car around, did you smell anything in the car?
No.
Smell any old food?
No.
Smell anything that caused you to go look around the car and see what that smell is?
No, sir.
One moment, please.
All right. Will this be the end of testimony? Will this be the end? Apparently not.
So I'm showing you image 33 of State's Exhibit 10. This has been identified by other witnesses as apparent vomit on Quentin's pillowcase as photographed by the police on October 5th. Have you now gotten a look at that?
Yes, sir.
Do you remember ever seeing that?
No, sir.
If the call to the police was morning of Wednesday, October 5th, right?
Yes, sir.
If that had been there Monday night, an all-day Tuesday, do you think you would have seen it at some point or been aware of it?
Yes, sir.
So do you think we can conclude from that then that it
Objection, Your Honor, calls for speculation. Can't conclude anything. Testify what he saw or heard.
Mr. Dean.
First, may I ask that we not have speaking objections? And second, I will withdraw the question.
Yes.
Do you have any recollection of an incident involving an accidental explosion of a package of rice cereal in the back of the Dodge Journey?
No.
What? It wasn't cereal powder
That's
in the
part
back
drove
of
pretty
the
much every day.
Yes, sir.
in the back of the vehicle, like she said it was. I mean, it may have been something else other than Rice
No further
Krispies
questions.
powder.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Youngkin, it's your testimony that you slept in that room
Recross.
the entire evening of October 4th until the early morning hours of October 5th, correct?
Yes, sir.
The same room that Quentin, Zane, and Sky were in, correct?
It's 2 rooms together, but
Are there any walls that divide it?
no.
It's wide open, correct?
Yes.
You testified that you saw the kids okay, and you told them you saw the kids okay when you left at 5:30 that morning, correct?
I was mistaken.
Well, you're mistaken now, but you weren't then. The first time you spoke was on October 5th, wasn't it, Mr. Youngkin?
Objection, Your Honor.
I was mistaken then.
Did.
Two objections. One, asked and answered previously. Two, beyond the scope of recross examination.
Yep.
I'm going to allow
Oh,
Mr. Yoder to
Judge.
ask those questions.
I won't, Judge. It's not that big of a deal. Mr. Youngkin, you testified on redirect a minute ago that you were a responsible cocaine addict and you only put the cocaine on top of the trespass.
I didn't say I was responsible.
Okay. Well, you put it in a place that only the kids couldn't get it. Well, let me ask you this. You also testified a few minutes later, didn't you, that you couldn't read your own text messages because you weren't making sense. You were either tired or intoxicated, correct? Yes or no?
I was tired.
He
That's
said
your
tired.
explanation, but you're also intoxicated. You admitted to doing cocaine and alcohol that evening, correct?
That's a matter of opinion.
Now, you were asked whether or not you saw this pillow, right? Mr. Dean just asked you about that.
He asked me if I had seen it prior to the 5th. Yes.
Right. Let me ask you this. At any point in time on October 5th, did you ever speak to anyone about an overwhelming smell of vomit emanating from the crib?
No.
Did you smell vomit?
No.
Were you sleeping in that room all night?
Yes.
And you woke up, correct? Got ready for work and left that morning, correct?
Yes.
Did you ever mention that you smelled vomit?
No, I was asleep.
All the question I got.
All right, Mr. Dean, anything further?
Even Leilani's like, what the fuck was that question about? Even Leilani has a what? Look at the look on Leilani's face. Even she's like, what the hell was those questions
All
about?
right, Mr. Dean,
Look at that. Like, the fuck are you doing? when the murderess is confused by the defense lawyer's questions. Yeah. Oh my God. All right.
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Youngkin, you are excused, sir.
Mr. Youngkin was a fantastic witness. And yeah, he's not a fantastic defense lawyer for that. I think he did way more harm with those cross-examination questions than he thinks he did.
Is there any reason to retain this witness? Let me ask that. Under subpoena.
Yeah, I have one moment on that question, Your Honor.
They have to decide whether or not he's subject to recall.
No, Your Honor.
No. Thank you. Mr. Youngkin, you're excused, sir.
Great witness. Oh, let's see what we got coming up here. Huh.
All right, Mr. Dean, you may call your next witness.
David Mullins.
Got an hour of this guy's testimony. I'm trying to think whether we can make it all through. I started late. I should shut it down now, but we'll go a bit longer. We'll go a little bit longer.
David Mullins. He's on his way. All right.
Court reporter woman she has more berets than I have hats, so kudos to her.
Good morning, sir. Could you please introduce yourself to the jury?
Hi, my name is David Mullen.
Normal spelling of David.
Yep, D-A-V-I-D, last name M-U-L-L-E-N.
And what is your city and state of residence, sir?
Currently Springfield, Georgia.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a warehouse manager.
And where do you work?
Currently work for a company called Eunice.
How long have you been in warehouse or freight operations?
A little over 12 years.
In October of 2022, where were you working and what were you doing?
I was working for a company called Eclipse Advantage. We were a warehouse labor provider.
And where specifically did you work?
In the Port Wentworth location, I was the facility manager for the company.
And what was this location specifically?
Inside of NFI's warehouse. Turn on the street address.
Just Littlehurst.
Yep.
Why did she get to wear a hat?
101
Because she
Littlehurst,
does.
Fort Wentworth.
Yep.
And you said this is
That's
an
why.
NFI warehouse?
Correct.
What is NFI?
NFI is a third-party contracted logistics provider. In that particular building, they were contracted by Target to process freight for them, and we were subcontracted by NFI to provide labor.
Okay. So NFI has a contract with Target. It's their building.
Yes.
And then Eclipse, the company that you work for, did what now?
We provided labor, the actual manpower of actually loading the boxes into the trailers for NFI.
What exactly would go on there?
Basically, it was a 24-hour day operation, scheduled for 7 days a week. Shifts were often canceled, however, by NFI.
Just real quick here. June's been a member for 5 months. Thank you so much for the support. Appreciate that. Stacy Nelson for the $2 super chat. Her mom has a long rap sheet too. Not surprised. Not surprised. Got to admit, I have zero surprise factor.
Lack of work. So we would have people that would unload containers, get the freight onto the floor, onto carts. The carts would be pushed over to the outbound side, where my team would take over and load the boxes into the trailers on the carts.
And where do the trailers go from there?
They go to Target's distribution centers.
Okay. So what's happening here is taking stuff out of shipping containers and putting it in trucks to be driven where it needs to go. Okay. In your capacity as what was your position again, you said at that time?
I was the warehouse facility manager.
Okay. And in that capacity, did you meet the defendant, LEILANI Simon?
Yes, I did.
And did you meet Daniel Youngkin?
Yes, I did.
And did you meet Paul Simon?
Yes, I did.
How did you meet all these people?
They're all employed by Eclipse, so they all reported up through other people to me.
And what did they do for Eclipse during the time period we're talking about, October 2022?
They were responsible for loading trailers. So when the cart would get pulled over to the door, it was their responsibility to take the boxes off of that cart and stack it as high and tight as possible inside of the trailer.
Is there security at that building, or was there security at that building at the time?
Yes.
That affected employees going in and out to and from work? Can you tell us about that, please?
So there were metal detectors. There was a staff security operation right at the front entrance to the building. So all employees had to go through the metal detectors. For any reason, the metal detector went off, security would then wand them. Checking for metal objects, making sure that nothing was being brought into the operation. They're also responsible for keeping an eye on associates leaving to make sure that no product was leaving.
All right, and what did that involve?
Basically a cursory glance 9 times out of 10. If someone was leaving with the bag, they would ask them to open the bag or peek inside the bag.
Okay, so employees even leaving work had to go through security?
Yes.
Okay. How did you keep track there of what hours people were working?
So we used a timekeeping system where every employee had their fingerprint that was biometrically registered. So when they would come in for the day, they would put their finger up against the fingerprint reader. It would record their time in, and the same thing for their time out.
Did you have the ability to, if somebody had left and forgotten to clock out, did you have the ability to manually clock them out? And how would you do that?
That would be off my computer terminal, either myself or the human resources manager, and the supervisors on the floor also had access.
Did at some point during the investigation of this case, did the FBI make contact with you?
Yes, they did.
And was there a Chatham County police detective there as well?
Yes.
Okay. And what were they asking you for?
They asked me for any time card records of the defendant or Danny Youngkin or Paul Simon.
And were you able to pull responsive documentation?
Yes.
And did you give time cards for the three of them
Yes.
to the FBI? Do you see in front of you 3 documents marked as States Exhibits 36, 37, and 38?
Yes, I do.
Do you know what those documents are?
Yep, those are printouts of the time cards.
Are those copies of what you gave to the FBI during the investigation?
Yes, they are.
And did those time cards reflect when you hit export or print and produce them?
Yes, they do. They are timestamped at the top, time and date.
And what was the date that you produced those to the FBI?
That was October 6th.
Okay. Are these timesheets we're looking at, are these maintained in the ordinary course of business at Eclipse?
Yes.
And do they reflect things as they happened at the time that they happened? If they say somebody clocked in at this time, that's
Yes.
accurate?
Yes.
And they're kept on file?
Yep.
Do you consider them business records of Eclipse Advantage?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'll offer these in as 36, 37, and 38.
No objection, Your Honor.
36, 37, and 38 are admitted without objection.
All right. I would like to, now, let me pull these up, and I just want to ask you a couple questions about them.
Sure.
All right, this is State's Exhibit 36. Whose time card is this?
That is LEILANI Simon's.
And can we see here the date and time that you produced this document?
Yep, October 6th, 2022 at 3:54 p.m.
Okay, so that date and time reflects when you printed it out or something?
Correct.
If it was produced on Thursday, October 6th, 2022, can I take it then on the last page at the bottom? That is the day represented by this Thursday here?
Yes.
Okay. And that would make this Wednesday above it
Yes.
October 5th?
Yep.
Okay, and then the Tuesday above that, October 4th?
Correct.
Okay. Now, this
Take care,
column over
Lake.
here, what does this reflect?
That was the scheduled time that was input by one of the regional managers.
Okay, so we're talking about the second, just so the record's clear, I should be a little better about this. We're talking about the second column from the left.
Yes.
Okay. And let me actually back out and just have you talk about these columns generally. Sorry, I'm jumping around a little bit.
Yep, certainly.
Leftmost column says date.
Yep.
Pretty self-explanatory.
Yes.
Next column says schedule, and you just talked about that, right?
Correct.
What does the next column mean?
That is a system notated absence.
And the next column?
That is their pay code. So if an employee who typically would work on first shift works on second shift, you would see a pay code update there.
And the next column?
That is the amount of time.
And then I think the next few columns are the ones that we're most concerned with. That's the in, out, transfer, in, out, transfer. Can you tell us what those things refer to?
Yep. So that is the actual punches. So for example, looking at what is on the screen, that very first in punch you see where it says 6:09, that was the clocked in time for that particular day.
Okay. And then the next column would be the clock out time or punch
Correct.
out time? Okay. Let's go back down now with that background to Tuesday, October 5th. And again, we're in the defendant's timesheet right now, correct?
Yes.
What does this reflect in terms of what she was scheduled to work that day?
She was scheduled to work from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m.
And what does it reflect in terms of when she actually clocked in?
She clocked in at 6:08, which then flagged for a supervisor to approve. That was approved. That's what that check mark is. The approval basically just means it was acknowledged that the employee was not on time or did not punch within the 5-minute parameters before or after the scheduled punch.
And then what does the next column over reflect?
That would be the out punch for the day, which was 7:57 in the morning.
So that's pretty early, right?
Yes.
Do you remember why?
She had a toothache. So her and Danny had, one of the two of them had texted my work phone and said that she had a toothache. It was reported to the supervisor on the floor. The supervisor agreed to let them leave for her to go and get the tooth looked at.
Now, what does her time card reflect in terms of Wednesday, October 5th?
She did not come into work.
What is that? Yeah, I see the word excused there. What does that mean?
That is acknowledging that the employee was not in. We had to either mark it as no call, no show or excused. No call, no show could lead to termination very quickly. So usually the absences were marked as excused.
Now, Daniel Youngkin's timesheet, is it substantially the same setup?
Yes.
All right. And that Tuesday and the third line from the bottom, would that be October 4th?
Yes.
And what does that show in terms of when he was scheduled to work?
He was scheduled to work from 6 o'clock in the morning to 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
And is that the same shift as the defendant?
Yes.
All right. And what does it show in terms of when he clocked in?
He clocked in at 6:06 in the morning, again, over that 5-minute threshold, so it had to be acknowledged.
And is that about the same time that the defendant clocked in that day?
Yes.
And when does it show in terms of when he clocked out?
He clocked out at 7:56 in the morning.
And is that about the same time that the defendant clocked out that day?
Yes.
Is this early clock out also attributable to the dentist trip?
Yes.
Okay. Now, moving on to Wednesday, October 5th, what does this show in terms of when he was scheduled to work?
He was scheduled to work from 6 o'clock in the morning to 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
And did he complete that shift?
No, he did not.
When does it show that he clocked in?
He clocked in at 6:11 in the morning.
And then what time was the clock out?
The clock out was at 9:15 in the morning.
What does this little check mark mean up here?
That means that was manually entered because he did not hit the time clock.
Okay. Did you do that?
It was either myself or it was Chris, the human resources manager. I believe it was myself though, because I encountered him.
Do you know why he didn't manually clock out when he left that day?
He was in an extreme rush when he was leaving. I actually encountered him as he was leaving the building.
Can you tell us about that encounter?
Sure. As I was walking into the building, security popped their head out the door and said, "Hey, someone just ran out the door." I looked over and saw Danny getting into his car. I walked over to Danny and said, "Why did you run out of the building? You have to let security check you out."
Were you able to observe his demeanor and appearance at this time?
Yes, he appeared frantic. Is probably the best word I can use to describe. He was crying, very upset. You could hear it in his voice. Something was not right.
Did you see tears coming out of
Yes,
his
I did.
face, out of his eyes? And were they coming down his face as well?
Yes,
Did it appear genuine to you?
very
Actually,
much.
not. Cause for speculation.
Did either Danny or the defendant ever come back to work in Eclipse after
No,
Danny's departure on October 5th?
no.
Did he leave anything at work that day when he ran out and you saw him frantic in the parking lot?
Yes, he did. He had left a jacket with a pack of cigarettes in it down in the dock.
And did you return that to him?
Yes, I did. One of the leads had turned it into the office. We had it in the office for probably a couple of weeks. Danny then reached out, asked via text message if we knew where his jacket was. I got his address in North Carolina and mailed it to him.
How long was it, as best you remember, between when you saw him run out of the warehouse or saw him in the parking lot after having run past security and having not remembered to clock out, that he asked you for his jacket back?
It had to be at least 2 to 3 weeks.
Did it seem to you that he had forgotten about it?
Objection, Your Honor. Cause for speculation.
Withdraw. Let me ask you about Paul Simon's timesheet, State's Exhibit 38, okay?
Yep.
Now, I just want to go to Tuesday, October 4th. And first of all, is it the case that he did not work Wednesday, October 5th, 2022, or Thursday, October 6th, 2022?
Correct.
All right, so the last day he worked there, at least at the time that this was produced, would have been Tuesday, October 4th.
Yes.
Now, there is a lot going on here in these columns.
Yep.
For Tuesday, October 4th. Can you, first of all, tell us, was he scheduled to work this day?
In the system, no, but he was on the schedule for today.
Okay, and can you tell us what these entries indicate in terms of what happened with his clock ins and clock outs that day?
Yep. So he came in early that day. He came in at 11:58.
Would that be AM?
Correct.
Sorry. Okay. So just before noon.
Correct.
All right. And what's the next thing that happened?
The next thing you see is 2 o'clock in the afternoon. That was the end of first shift. So we had to allocate his hours from shift to shift. So in that next column where you see transfer, you see WG1/unload. WG1 stood for work group 1. So first shift.
And what's the next entry?
That is a clock back in at 2:01. As he never did leave, that's the only way we could update his hours to reflect into that second shift.
And the next entry?
That would be his out punch for lunch break at 5:33
PM?
Correct.
Okay.
And that next column is allocating from 2:01 to 5:33 into second shift, i.e. WG2.
And then what happened next in terms of his activity there on the on October 4th?
Yep, so then he punched back in at 6:05 p.m. from lunch. And then he punched out for the day at 9:56 p.m.
And was that it for Paul on October 4th?
On that day, yes.
Okay. Is it fair to say then that he clocked in for work around noon, took a half-hour break around 5:30, came back to work, and then left work around 10 p.m.?
Yes.
Okay. One moment, please, Your Honor. No further
Okay.
questions.
All right.
Just a few. Good morning, Mr. Mullins. My name is Mark Hilliard. How are you, sir?
Good.
How is this guy's testimony going to go for like another hour? I guess it's only going to go for like another half hour. Oh, they take a break. All right. We'll watch the end of this guy's testimony.
So you were the direct supervisor for Paul Simon, LEILANI Simon, and Danny Youngkin back in October of 2022, correct?
I was a dotted line supervisor.
Were you the one that they mostly interacted with regards to clocking in, checking out, getting excused, things like that?
Myself or the supervisors.
Well, I guess let me just jump to this. Did you know Miss Simon back then?
Yes.
Interact with her?
Yes.
Did you know Mr. Paul Simon at that point?
Yes, I did.
By looking at him?
Yep.
Did you know Mr. Danny Youngkin by interacting with him?
Yes.
So if you passed them on the street, you'd know who they were, correct?
Yes.
I didn't see this on the sheets, but the regular shift was from 6 to 2
Yes.
for Mr. Youngkin and Miss Simon, correct?
Yes.
And the regular shift for Paul Simon, I think, was like 2 to 10.
Yes.
Okay. Those are the general shifts they work. What was your shift usually?
My shift was typically more of a mid shift. So I would get in typically between 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. and I'd work over into that second shift so I could interact with both shifts.
So you could kind of bridge the gap. You would,
Yes.
you know, LEILANI and Danny would get there a little bit before you, and they would leave a little bit before you left. And generally speaking, Paul would get there a little bit before you left every day.
Yes.
So and how often would you say you interacted with them?
Typically at least once every 2 days. Again, my responsibility is more running the business. They would have a lot of interaction with the daily floor leadership.
Okay. And you said if they were more than 5 minutes late, they had to get a supervisor to check their timesheet and to approve it, correct?
Yes.
So it sounds like there was, anytime that you were late, and I guess it didn't matter if you were clocking in, going to lunch or whatever, the supervisor would have to approve that, and that's what those little check marks
Yes.
were. Did y'all have any policy about smoke breaks or anything like that?
No firm policy. If the team was sitting around waiting for work, they could go have a cigarette. To do that, they had to leave the floor, go through a security checkpoint, but still stay within the premises of the building.
Okay, so was it like a designated area that they would
Yes.
have to go to? And is that where all the employees and supervisors had to go to smoke?
Yes.
All right. And did you ever see Miss Simon out there smoking?
Yes.
Mr. Simon?
Yes.
Mr. Youngkin?
Yes.
Okay. And I'm not trying, I'm an ex-smoker, but did you smoke with him as well?
Yes.
Okay. And how often would you see them out there? I'm not, would you see them once a week, once a day? I mean,
that's usually where I interact with them the most, honestly. So once every 2 days.
So that's where you see them all out there smoking, correct?
Yep.
Okay. And you said you returned Mr. Youngkin's jacket to him?
Yes.
And in the jacket was a pack of cigarettes?
Yes.
And what type of cigarettes did Mr. Youngkin smoke?
I don't recall. I want to say, I'm not positive, but I want to say it was like Marlboro menthol or something.
And you smoked with him on more than one occasion in the
Yes.
smoke break, I guess the smoke break area?
Yep.
Thank you. That's all the questions I have. Thank you, Mr. Moore.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anything further, Mr. King?
No, Your Honor.
Any reason to hold this witness under subpoena?
No.
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Mullins, you're excused.
Thank you.
Mr. Dean, your next witness.
All right. I think this is all the.
While we're doing this, ladies and gentlemen,
Okay.
Your Honor, we're waiting on a couple witnesses to come downstairs, but we're, other than that, ready to.
All right, they take the break. And so what we'll do is we'll wrap this up here today. And it looks like the next witness is Missy. Is this Missy? Missy, the one that's like, that was supposed to have given her the Oragel and said, sorry, I ain't seen this bitch in months. Looks like Missy / Misty is our next witness. And then we have OJP, and some pediatricians and whatnot. So we will pick this up tomorrow, Thursday, with day 4, part 2 of LEILANI Simon. It's a good place to wrap this up. Strawberry's being a big whiner over here. Don't be a big whiner, Straubs. We'll play with you here in just a quick second. Are you sure, baby? I'll play with you in just a second. All right. Yeah, not OJ Simpson. The ghost of OJ is not testifying. All right, everybody. Our like and subscribe poll is just about to be shut down for the day. So if you want to throw a last minute answer, please feel free. But whether you do or not, just make sure you've liked the stream and you've subscribed. And if you have subscribed, just double check to make sure you are. Today is what are Strawberry and Yoda doing during this stream? Well, 12% of you said astral projection. 24% of you said using the Force to get Doggo Cam. That might be an acceptable answer because we've got Doggo Cam for day number 58 or 57 or whatever. 58. Yeah, 58. And 30% of you say plotting world domination. Also quite possible. And 34% of you with the number one answer said that Strawberry and Yoda are judging you for bad life choices. That's also an acceptable answer. It's the end of the poll. Thank you, everybody, for voting for the poll. Thank you for being here for day 4, part 1 of the LEILANI Simon trial. Thank you for being here with me and Mods. Thank you for doing your Moddy best, as always. Couldn't do it without you. Wouldn't want to do it without you. Nor would I want to do it without each and every one of you. The chat, the Vice Squad, which is hands down the greatest and most wonderful and bestest chat on all YouTube. So welcome. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the gifted memberships, for the purchased memberships, for the stickers. Thank you for everything that got us where we are today with the support. We will see you tomorrow. And possibly we'll get to day 59 of the emotional support potato pig dog cam. So thank you for being here. Give everybody a little super shout out. Give a round of applause for yourself and a good pat on the back, and have a wonderful day, morning, evening, afternoon, whatever it is, wherever you are. Me, Legal Vices, saying see you tomorrow. Take care.